Nearly 60 days in office, the NDC government has hit the ground running, making key decisions that could shape Ghana's future. At his State of the Nation address, President John Dramani Mahama assures the Ghanaian people his government is doing all it can to make Ghana better again. In this edition, we interrogate the period spent in government so far and its impact on the people. From governance and economic policies to infrastructure and social interventions, it is clear that this administration's early steps are being closely watched. In this edition of Hot Issues, we ask, has the government delivered on its early promises? Today, we assess the progress, challenges, and what lies ahead for the administration as it navigates its first months in office. My next guest is Acting CEO of the Ghana Investment for Electronic Communication, Dr. Rashid, Tanko-Computer. I am Kemenia Mano, and this is Hot Issues. You're welcome to Hot Issues, Doc.
Thank you.
Let's look at nearly 60 days into the new administration. What would you say are the biggest achievements of this new government so far?
Very well. Let me say good afternoon and evening as well to your cherished viewers and the good people of Bimbilla as well as Tamale. You know, I'm from two parts.
I see.
From Bimbilla, northern region, as well as Tamale. They are my cherished people. I wish them well. And then they've started the fasting. You know, this is the month of Ramadan. I wish them well. I pray that my people should be able to go through the fasting successfully without any problem. Well, one of the biggest achievements of the NDC in the less than 2 months that we are in office is the air of freedom. Ghanaians are briefing. Air of freedom.
The air of freedom?
I'm telling you.
What does that mean?
We're in bondage. The country was in bondage. It was like we're in an era of slavery, where some group of people were just using the country as if it was their bona fide property. The mess they could just look at the mess they created. You heard the president when he presented the State of the Nation.
Right.
So the air of freedom is like you have captured a bird and put it in a basket. The day you remove the cap, you see how the bird will fly out. This is how Ghanaians are now feeling. Air of freedom. Ghanaians are now free. It appears we have regained some fresh independence. That one alone is an achievement.
I see.
Apart from that, for the first time that you have a government that within 14 days, having sworn into office, was able to form its cabinet. That's never happened. That shows how serious this government was.
Well, that's a promise you made, so you have to keep it.
And we have, how many presidents has made such promises and they've kept it? The promises we have made, I can assure you, we are almost there. We have not even crossed 2 months. But almost the biggest ones that we promised that we're going to do within the 120 days, we have achieved them. Talk of the Education Forum, haven't they? It's ongoing. Talk of the Constitutional Review Committee. It's been set.
The committee has been set up.
Yeah. Talk of the Economic Forum that we are going to do. Is the committee not being formed? They're in the process of meeting. Okay? We have done all these things. The aura is uncovering a lot of loots. Very soon, people are going to be hot.
Very soon.
Very soon, people are going to be hot. It won't be long. They will be very hot because we are not going to leave even 1 penny for anybody. If you run, we know where your properties are. And I'm happy the president said they should start freezing their accounts and then take hold of their properties. Those running away, we'll get them. Even if it means we should talk to Interpol to fish them out for us, we will extend that courtesies that is accruing for a state government look for them.
But this freedom you talk about, how is it impacting the bread and butter issues for the Ghanaian people? Is life any cheaper?
Life is cheaper as of now.
Oh, how so?
Interest rate is coming down. It's not coming. Haven't you seen that? The minister just posted it recently. Finance minister. Interest rate is coming down.
Was he referring to the treasuries or?
Yes, the treasuries and all this. Things are going down. Okay, and then you can see that businesses are now picking up.
No, I want to understand which interest rate is coming down. Is it the cost of borrowing being cheaper, or
of course
the interest rate on treasuries coming down?
Look, the cost of borrowing is coming down.
For individuals, I mean.
Of course, and even corporate organizations as well. You cannot do business with 39% interest. It doesn't make sense. As we speak now, it's not coming down. The dollar is a bit stable, although we are still within the range of 15. Okay, in the black market, you get it 15.2. The interbank rate is quite better. Are you getting it? It means it's coming down. Things are going better. Are you getting it?
I see.
Government is... Look at these bond holders. We have been able to pay them their coupons. Is that not true? Our grandfathers, who they cut their head, even they already have sakura, they nearly removed their skins. Our grandfathers.
The point the minority has made about that bond payment is that if you say that you didn't come and meet any money, where did you get that money from to make the payment? Because they approved the budget that created that money before you came into office.
They were not magnanimous in how to handle finances of this country. We know the brain, we have the skills as how to manage these things. That's why for 8 years, our grandfathers were doing demonstrations and running and picketing at the finance ministry. They didn't know how to handle this matter. They only know how to steal government resources. Okay, we have been able to do it within the shortest possible time. Our grandfathers are no more picketing. They are no more doing demonstrations. That's why I say air of freedom has come back. You see, this is what we have to... Look, for the first time, the president sat with organized labor to come out with the what? The minimum wage. Have you ever seen that before? For the 8 years, have you seen it coming from these people?
Well, but the president sat with organized labor because the 10% was just a fraction of what organized labor was looking for. And so the president used his clout, so to speak, his position as president to be able to do the negotiations. When you compare with what the previous administration did, they did much more than 10%. So I don't know why that is an achievement for you.
You see, it's one of the biggest achievements we have ever seen, where you have a down-to-earth president. He drove all the way from his office to go and sit with organized labor. Let's discuss about the issue. These are the issues on the table. And in a very friendly environment, they were able to agree on. Did you hear any problem coming from them? Even with the percentage the MPP people were talking of, the people were still going on demonstration. They were still shouting because they knew that everything of them, inflation rate was raining around 54%. You come and give me a paltry sum and tell me that you have increased my minimum wage to this level, and therefore I should clap for you. That team could not even send them from that office to Malanta Market. It finished on the way before they get to Malanta Market. That's why it was just useless. It didn't go anywhere. And that's why the organized labor teamed up and made sure that they voted them out. But these people, they're seeing that things are going down. Everything looks better. Friendly environment. The president was so magnanimous and brutally frank with them about the issues. These people had let this kind of debt on us. Huge debt. Energy sector, cocoa sector, road sector, every facet of our life. They have finished everything and run away and even put some in containers. Can't you see that we arrested some containers full of money, Ghana cedis and dollars? It's from these people.
Which people?
MPP.
Is that what the investigation revealed?
It's not MPP regime that they brought these things.
No, but the investigation review...
Anything that happened under their regime is their cause. Give it to them.
How so? I mean, we can't conclude that.
The problem
is why investigations
that how can you have a country with all security apparatus, intelligence apparatus, and yet somebody will come and hide 12 containers full of Ghana money and dollars, and you couldn't see it. They passed through all the radars, packed Sepema, Sepema is in the middle of Accra, just here. It's not any village they've gone and hid it. Accra here. It means the money would have passed through a lot of barriers, a lot of borders. Containers, they are not small containers, 20-footer containers, each of them containing trunk full of money. When I saw the thing, I nearly collapsed. I've never seen money like that. Why are these people so wicked? And gold.
But that's why investigations
so that tells you that this is a credit to NDC government. If NDC hadn't come to power, what would have happened to their money? But
what has happened to the investigations?
We are not going. We'll catch them. They are running, but they can't hide.
But we haven't heard anything either. You've had time to investigate this matter. What has happened?
Haven't you see that we brought cameras to come and see the money? We wanted Ghanaians to know that we have caught some big fish somewhere. They are running. We'll get them.
I see.
We'll get them.
Let's move away from that and come back to the bread and butter issues, because I asked you how the first 60 days has impacted our bread and butter matters in this country. I haven't had a response yet.
Oh, no, I've said it has. One, I gave you indications. Organized labor, we have managed to stabilize the dollar to the CD. We have stabilized it.
But it doesn't mean life is cheaper.
I'm saying it is better instead of the way it used to run, like Usain Bolt. It's no more like that. It has been stabilized. Okay, it has been stabilized. Our fathers, grandfathers, and all this, and we have paid their coupons. Their monies were locked up. We've paid it for them. Is it not going to make their life better? It will increase their lifespan. Some of them were dying. Now they won't die again because they have money to buy their this and pay for their medication and other. Is it not impacting on their life? That's a good thing. Organized labor, they have gotten something which will cushion them a bit. Okay? Because we have stabilized the market and all this. This, even though you are saying 10%, it will help them a lot. Because it won't be running down their pocket as if they have some big holes in their back pocket. So when they put it, the thing will go down. It won't happen like that. So within this shortest possible time, they have seen some relief in their way of life. Are you getting it? And in any case, we have quickly formed a government. Unlike previous government, it would have taken them about 2-3 months before they form a government. Now we have a government in place, which is functioning. It means they can do proper business with government facilities and institutions and agencies as well. These are all indications that their lifespan will not wait for about 3 or second quarter before they have their government. These are indicators that you see that things are now moving. They mean the government has picked up fast from swearing in. These are all indications that things are getting better.
So then what I hear you asking the Ghanaian people is you're setting the tone for a cheaper cost of living in this country.
Fantastic. That is why we are on the path of doing.
I see. In that social contract, and because you've mentioned it, I just want us to pick on a few things in the social contract before we move on to other matters, right? Point 5 in that social contract says, within my first 90 days in office, we'll scrap the following draconian taxes to alleviate hardship and ease the high cost of doing business in the country: e-levy, COVID levy, 10% levy on bed winnings, and emissions levy. Where are we with that? We are almost 60 days in.
Yes. The finance minister, in the next 8 days or so, will be presenting the budget. In the budget, all these taxes will be scrapped.
You suspect that will be...
It will be scrapped. In fact, it's a contract we signed with the good people of Ghana that we are going to take them out. We've campaigned vigorously against this. And we mean business. This president, look, every line of action that we put in our manifesto, we are going to implement it. We have done it. We have shown enough evidence that we are going to implement, and the goodwill is there. These taxes you have mentioned, in the budget that we are going to read, we are going to scrap them. Because we don't see the need to have those taxes. Why should we continue to have COVID levy? Why should we continue to have it? Why should we continue to have this e-levy trade? That is even bringing us nothing. What it brings us is quite minimal. Okay? And it's even strangulating businesses on the electronic device side. And so we will take them out. This betting tax thing, we will take it out. Okay? All these things, you wait. In the next 8 days, Parliament, in fact, when the president was speaking, presenting the State of National Address, he touched on it, some of these things. There are other means of which we can make money from the capital market. There are other means. We are not going to go in for this free flow borrowing that the people were engaging. We're not going to go that path.
The former Deputy Finance Minister has said that already in 2 months, your government has borrowed some over 50 billion cedis already.
See, I don't want to use certain words on him because he's an honorable man. It was yesterday how he was disgraced with that kind of assertion. Government has not borrowed any money. As we speak now, government has not done any borrowing whatsoever. I don't know where you got it from. So it's, how it was a complete lie. It's a complete lie. It's a big fat lie. These are the things they did and got 37 points, something, 2%. These are the things they did. These were the lies they were saying, and Ghanaians gave them 37%. The most disgraceful percentage a ruling government has ever got. Because of these things they were doing. Where did we borrow anything? We are not even up to 2 months in government. We are already talking of borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. You see, we haven't gone in for anything yet because we are just using our managerial skills in trying to manage the future. Look at what they've done to sinking fund and all this. Even the watch he was wearing on this is more than the money they left in that one. He, how did they sticker or what they call him?
No, we don't know the cost of the watch. I think you can make your point without.
I'm just telling you that. I want you to know that the amount of money, the president said, the amount of money put in that $64,000. Look at the things they are wearing. The watches they are wearing.
I don't know the cost.
Gold watches and then diamond watches and all that. Look at the prices.
You are only assuming.
I know. I know them. I know these people. These are the things they did. And now the same person will come and sit and be talking as if Ghana just came into the system and the MPP. We have the those here, plenty. I say by June, some of them will be very hot.
One of the questions the Ghanaian people are asking is, well, oral collected information from you, and there's still information for the, the NDC administration, and there really isn't much head since then, considering this is a party that campaigned on a lot of transparency and accountability. What's going on with that?
Yes, the oral, you see, this was just a fact-finding mission put together. And they managed to brought us a lot of evidence. When they presented it to the president, the agency that has the power to prosecute is the Attorney General. That's why the president handed over the evidence to him to go and prepare the docket. That's why I'm saying very soon people will be very hot. We have an Attorney General who believes before he sends somebody to court, he would have organized enough evidence so that he can nail you proper. He's not the type who will send you to court before he now be looking for the evidence. That's why all these people the MPP sent to court, they had to go free. They didn't have any evidence again. They only bundled them to court for political propaganda. And for 8 years, they were fishing around looking for evidence, trying to get people to incriminate others. That's what they were doing. But this Attorney General, a very learned Attorney General, in fact, most of the judges, he taught them. He's a master, that's his students. He knows what he's doing. He's studying them, he's putting the dockets together. And by the time he hits the court, a lot of people will be hot. I'm not surprised some of them have started making noise before even they go to court. So
is oral only going after former appointees of the previous administration? Because, your explanation seems to...
Oral was set for a purpose.
Right.
For the past 8 years, there was massive looting of state resources and assets. Too much. Even ordinary person, you need not even go to school to know that there were plenty of looters in this country. You just sit back and you are looking at them, cutting out government resources and properties. Let me tell you, in Northern Region, you don't have any government again in Northern Region, Tamale, the regional capital. They sold everything to their people. If you hear the amount they sold to government prime plot, dear Kemeni, you blow your head off. Prime plot, which can go for as much as 1 million Ghana cedis, were sold to people as 20,000 Ghana cedis. What is that? Prime plot. This is until I visited there. I went to the regional administration behind it. Bungalows which were meant for government workers and plot meant for extension and other things. They sold everything. People were building houses over there. Why are they doing? Did they do all this incident? So we said no. This massive loot, because it's 8 years, if you are going to wait for them to come to power before you start looking for this information. So we started documenting all this, what they were doing. looted state resources, went to capital market, used phony these insurance companies and other things to loot the state. We uncovered all this. And so that's why he has to put this oral thing together, so that they will be able to bring all these things, so that we will sit down on the round table, discuss it, prosecute these people. Look, we are going to take back all this.
So oral scope of work is only the last 8 years?
Yes, because they were massive looting.
Okay.
That's what we're looking at.
But if we are recovering all loot, why don't we look at beyond the last 8 years as well? Because then it gives room for interpretations as though it's a persecution of the previous appointees of the last administration.
Yeah, it's not persecution. We came to power in 2009. After 8 years, we lost power, 2016. These people came. What did they do? They went after our people and said they squandered state resources, financial loss to this. Is that not what they did? Locked some of our people, put them behind bars. So they had investigated the previous regime. Is that not true? And got what they wanted. So they had finished that chapter. They have finished the chapter of the 2009 to 2016. Is that not true? They also started a new chapter in 2017. So 2017 to 2024, they have finished another chapter. So let's go through that chapter too. Why should you go back to that, to be doing a chapter that has already investigated, arrested people and put them behind bars? They should have learned from that lesson. That we prosecuted people after 2016, when we came to power, for one or two reasons. So that should have been a lesson for appointees of that government. But these people didn't learn anything. They thought they came through the barrel of gun. They were ruling the country as if they were a military regime. They don't care. You can go to hell. Some small cabal were just sitting here next to your next-door neighbors. They were your next-door neighbors here, doing whatever they wanted to do and mess up the country.
I don't understand when you say they were our next-door
your
neighbors.
Your neighbor, Flagstaff House, they were here. They were not in Flagstaff House.
But you two are also there.
And now you see difference. Now, can't you see the difference?
No, I can't.
The difference is very clear. We respect everybody. We open up the place. We are even going to have independence celebration. Is that not true? We have not made governor to look like Chief Palace, where every ordinary person can go there. That's all we have done. Can't you see what is going on now? It's very lovely. It's not like those days you are passing there as if there are some military rulers who are sitting there. You can't come near it. Or some wild dogs are just hanging around there because they fear their own shadows. We are not like that. That's why I'm saying that things have changed. Now, this aura is going to find out for the 8 years, what have you done with our resources? Accountability is key. That's why the president warned his appointees, all of us. This oral thing that I'm doing is just watch. You to misbehave will come after you. He's admonishing everybody.
So then, again, help clarify the point on oral, because as the president explained during his sona, oral will take a different form and operate from the presidency. It will also look into the activities and affairs of the appointees of the current administration. Will that be the case?
Yes. You see, dear Kemeni, let me say good afternoon to my good friend, Professor Dodo. You know, he's the presidential advisor on anti-corruption issues at the presidency. If you know Professor Dodo very well, you know that President Mama means business by appointing somebody like that. Professor Dodo, he used to be a former vice chancellor of Legon and a former president of a Ghana Olympic Committee, a very seasoned researcher. He is the presidential advisor on anti-corruption drive. This man, I've worked with him, and I know the kind of person he is. You give Professor Dodo 100 cedis to go and do an assignment. You have calculated 100 cedis. He will go and do 50 cedis and say 50 cedis can do the assignment and bring your 50 cedis back to you. He's sitting there. If you come, he has a very modest, simple life. Such a big person, you see him very simple life. And Professor Dodo is watching everybody. Don't look, if you misbehave, I'll bring you to the limelight. I don't care. Ghanaian people deserve better. Don't think because we are in power, you can misbehave and get away with it. So Ora is in the office. He's sitting there for government officials and appointees. We are not going to shield anybody. He said it severally. We have been, look, I say we have been there before. We have learned our lessons. We have learned our lessons a lot. And that's why I'm saying that Ghanaians are so, look, they should be thankful that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is back to power because he has the benefit of hindsight. He's been there before, vice president, president, and back again. So he has the benefit of hindsight. We are not going to repeat this kind of thing that people did. People were carrying their own chairs around. Nobody could touch that chair. It has its own this V8 carrying it all over the place. They will go and tell chiefs that, get up and greet me. You cannot sit and greet me. They don't know that the chiefs are the custodians of the land. They didn't care. They were behaving like some King Nebuchadnezzar, and therefore any king, paramount chief, get up. This is not that type of president we have. Down to earth president, respectful and all that. So he wants his appointees to behave safe. The resources that they are giving to is for ordinary Ghanaians, for their better, not for ourselves. Okay, we are to make sure that, look, what they will give you at the end of the month, that is what you deserve. Okay, but you don't go plunder the resources because you have access to it. You plunder it and the ordinary people are suffering. Can't you see that Accra is now getting brighter in the night? The regional minister.
Is that the case? What has the regional minister done?
She has started. All street lights.
I see.
She started fixing them. Okonglu, pass through Okonglu and all this, and you see that in the night, it's like you are in London. Very bright. For 8 years, when people were collecting your money, anytime you go to buy ECG power, they take street lighting.
So I thought ECG will be the one doing the street lighting. It is
somebody might use his head to make sure that that thing comes out. That money must come and do that work.
We'll have to
but somebody has picked it and they are pocketing it. Look at the ECG debt alone. Only God knows.
Who has pocketed what? That we haven't.
Somebody has
pocketed. Let's clarify the point, because that ECG that you talk about.
Yes.
There was misuse and mismanagement of money.
Yes.
But I didn't read anywhere in that report that said that somebody stole money or embezzled funds of ECG. So let's clarify the point.
ECG was not run by ghosts. They were run by human beings.
What does that?
Ghost doesn't plunder money.
What does that mean?
It means when you say there was misuse of money, is that not what it is?
Yeah, because the money meant for... No, hang on. No, don't mislead my viewers. The money meant for the cash waterfall mechanism, for instance, ended up going into other expenses that were not, earmarked for. So it didn't go into somebody's pocket. So when you say there was plundering, you give the impression that someone stole the money. But I'm saying the report hasn't told us that someone stole the money.
Kemeni.
Yes.
See, Ghanaians, that's how we are. We don't call speed a speed. Sometimes we call it shovel or long spoons. ESLA, which was meant to service energy sector debt.
Yeah.
These people collected, you hear the amount the president mentioned, huge sums of money. Yet they left debt for us. Where's from that? Where did they use the money for? What did they use the money for? Were there ghosts who were handling those funds?
That money was also mortgaged to...
I am saying that. You see, that is why I'm saying that. It is only when the frog dies you see the long life. You wait and see. We are going to it. There's a team working on that.
Looking into that.
That one. We will get them. When people were just carrying money in containers or water tanks in their house, where were they getting the money from? When people open bank accounts in their rooms, bank accounts had several dollars, pounds, euros, everything, all the currencies in the world were in their bedroom. Where were they getting the money from?
Is your administration looking into those
issues? Of course.
That you have raised?
Of course, Kemeni, we are looking after these people. We'll get plenty of money for this country. You wait and see. Because all these people, they will vomit their money back. They can't do this to this country and get away. You see, when you do it, they say persecution. You want to persecute. How are you going to persecute people who were sleeping on top of money under their bedrooms? You can't do this to this country and get away. Chiefs were even complaining about that. And that's why when we talk of this energy thing, and people were paying for street lighting. I mean, you go and take your bill. You see, won't you see street lighting?
Yes.
Why is your street light not on? That is the question we should be asking ourselves. Why is it not on? Somebody must account for it.
Very
so these are the things we are talking. I'm saying that the regional minister, Greater Accra, we must pat her back. She has started. She said 50 days. She has not even gotten half. And already we have seen semblance of street lighting coming. You know, our 24-hour economy is one of the areas that we are going to deal with. Because you cannot be dealing with 24-hour economy and there's darkness in the country.
We'll come to the 24-hour economy in a third. But just back to the social contract, there is the issue of 21.21, which says commence investigative processes to purge state security agencies of all militia and vigilante elements. And I want you to take note of that point 21. Reopen investigations into major unresolved criminal cases, including the 2020 election killings, Ayawaso West Wogon by election violence, murder of Ahmed Swale and Silas Ulukame. Point 23, which the president has, directed investigations be launched into. The last one is to initiate a probe into the man-made disaster caused by the VRS spillage from the Akosombo Dam and the Pong Dam as well. So point 21 and 24 is what I want us to focus on. Your plan is to purge state security agencies of all militia and vigilante elements. And yet we saw certain people, we do not know their portfolio as far as security is concerned, searching the former finance minister's home. What's going on there?
You see, Kemeni, during the last 8 years, we saw things in this country. We saw things. A lot of things happen in this country. And it's just that God made us to survive it. And that's why I say we should have given people a certificate of survival under these people. When we went and put a bill, that vigilante bill, and now pass it into act, we didn't know that these people had a plan. They had migrated all their vigilante guys into state security. So NPP didn't have any vigilante. All of them were migrated into the state security. We only saw it during the year or so by-election. When they brought them, you saw it, your cameras were there. How they brutalized the people over there. These were not professionals. These were just hoodlums. And
you want to get rid of these hoodlums, as you call them, from the national security apparatus.
Yes.
But I'm making the point that what we saw from the videos and pictures provided during the search of the former finance minister's home, you are contradicting point 21 in your social contract when we don't know the portfolio of the people who went to conduct that search. Who are those people who went? What do they do?
They are state security.
I see.
They are state security.
Richard Jakpa is now state security.
Richard Jakpa is the director of operations, special operations at National Security. Right. That's one thing people don't know. He's the director of special operations at National Security. He led the operation. All the team members he used were state apparatus, state security.
They were not people who had recently been drafted
No. They were not. They were people existing state security. He's the only person who is a new person among the team that led there.
Right.
Okay. Jakpa worked with me in the directorate. Very professional ex-military officer. Okay. And so we will not go that path. What we are saying is that these people put a lot of hoodlums into the state security. They are just not professional. Some of them were even arrested by themselves. NPP administration as armed robbers. State security. Some were police, some soldiers arrested. I mean, you covered it.
Well, I mean, and you are putting that at a doorstep of the NPP. I mean, I'm trying to understand the point you're making.
What are the people who recruited them? What kind of investigative background did they do about those people before putting them in the secret? I remember those days.
But you know those are not isolated incidents. It appears to happen.
Look, but it became rampant under their regime because a lot of the armed robberies were led by these guys.
Which guys?
Military and police guys. And they were just recently recruited guys from 2017, 2018, thereabout.
Which investigation shows what you're saying?
We have it. Anytime they send them to court and they were looking at their numbers, staff numbers and other things, it indicated that there were new people.
New recruits.
New recruits put in there. And I'm saying that these are the problem we have with these people. What kind of, even currently, do you know the people they sent just recently for training? Our team went there. It will marvel you. How can you go and put a 41-year lady to go in for a training? What is that? It's such an old lady. These are the people they were doing. And some of them, Look, I said very soon you hear a lot of story. They sold some of the slots to the people.
I see.
They didn't do any background check. Bring money in and back to the ground.
So,
and then they are there. They brought them plenty like that for training. So I pity them. I look at them and I look at, what kind of investigation background did they do about these people before bringing them for training?
So I'm trying to understand again. Let's take on the subject matter of Richard Jakpa, who it's now the Director of Special Operations at the National Security Secretariat. Now, this was a gentleman who was undergoing trial, so to speak. Just to clarify the point, he was on trial for causing financial loss to the state. Subsequently, the case was, cleared and dropped against him. And then the new administration decides that we will draft the businessman into our national security. And we also given the backdrop that his military credentials were called into question. How do you convince the Ghanaian people that you haven't just repeated what you're accusing the previous administration of?
I see, sometimes I look at these people and I say, I don't understand them. When the Attorney General went to court and entered nolle prosequi, he was part of it, he and our current minister. You remember the episode, well, even held press conference about it, when the then Attorney General was forcing Jakpa to implicate the current finance minister.
Oh, that issue,
evidence.
That issue has been dealt with. Remember the judge ruled on that matter?
Yes, and I'm saying that matter, that led to the quashing. The same court also quashed the matter, the issues. So he was not under investigation because they only went for appeal. The appeal was pending, right?
Right.
When we came and said that this man, you didn't even have evidence. You were even forcing the other, the persons you were prosecuting to implicate the other person. Wasn't that what they were doing? That's why we thought that these people didn't have any evidence against them.
So again, let me clarify the question I'm asking. I'm not going back to the trial. I am asking, based on what credentials are you putting Richard Jakpa in the in national security? Again, given the backdrop that he was undergoing trial, he was subsequently released from the trial, discharged from the trial. His military credentials had come up. This was supposed to be a businessman, not a member of the NDC. And so, what was the credential? I mean, how do you convince the Ghanaian people you're not doing the same thing that you accuse the NPP of doing, filling national security apparatus with your people?
Jakpa is a fine ex-military officer. He has no any issue against him at all whatsoever. Even when they brought that military thing, that reporting, he was not indicted for any crime. He just didn't want to do the job again. He just didn't want to do it. So we didn't even know the reason why they brought that and to do what. Because if reading the document that they exhibited, the NPP were banding around, didn't implicate him in anything. It's just that the gentleman felt that I was not interested in doing the job again. And he exited. No case against him. This trial thing, you have just said it. They were acquitted and discharged. There was no issue against them. He's a fine gentleman, a brainy young man in terms of investigation and all that.
Very well.
The president look at it clearly. If you have any evidence against him, bring it. The fact that people are just banding things around social media and other things is not enough because the president is sitting on a lot of intelligence. You think the president, if he hasn't got enough intelligence from the military high command and other things, he would have put him there. This is a former president. He knows what he's doing. He's not a fresh president that you can just come and bundle anything on his face and think that he will go with it. He will do his own background checks about you. He will make sure that he get his security service. In fact, now we call them BNI. It used to be called BNI. It's now NIB. We have to even change that name.
You want to change that name?
Of course, very soon.
Why?
Oh, what is NIB? What is NIB?
National Investigative
The scope
Bureau.
is too small. The scope is too small. We're going to widen the scope.
And how will the BNI widen the Bureau of National Investigations?
Very soon. Work is ongoing on that.
To change the name?
Yes, to bring it so that the scope will now be properly structured. So that it can go for the work. You know, it's supposed to be working like the FBI or CIA. You see, that is the kind of, is the intelligence wing of the security service.
Right.
Okay, but look at these people. Go and read the act, the Security Intelligence Act, and see what they have done to the BNI, now NIB. And you see that's why they were like toothless bulldog under their regime, so that they can get away with what they were doing. It was a plan, a strategy. If you are into security palace, you know what I'm talking about. They know what they were doing. They have reduced their power to the extent that they put some small boys over there, and they were just doing nothing. So they were just getting away.
You've removed all those people?
Very soon.
Very soon.
Resetting is also going to go there.
Resetting will happen at the NIB?
Every sector. The president resetting is not for only one particular institution.
Resetting?
It's across the country.
Are you resetting at GIFEC?
Yes. We have to reset, of course. The resetting, you see, when we talk of resetting, people think that it's just going about human beings. No, It's not about going about human beings.
Right.
It's to change the way we used to do things. We can't continue doing the same thing and expect a different result. So when the president mentioned it, he will reset Ghana. It is not an institution. We are going to reset our entire lifestyle, our entire way of doing things in various departments.
Right.
So when we talk of resetting, then these MPP people will sit down and think that it's by removing people. No.
Doc, I'm going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue from where you left off. We'll talk about Ablekuma North and the other contested constituencies. Then we'll talk quickly about GIFEC and its role in the 24-hour economy. Don't go away. My guest in this edition is acting CEO of GIFEC. He's also the Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC, Dr. Rashid Tanko-Computer. Doc, I appreciate your patience in talking to us, but I did say we'll take off from where you left, and I'm tempted to go back a little bit to the social contract, but I think we spent enough time on that. Let's go ahead and talk about Ablekuma North. Ablekuma North, the Electoral Commission is now saying they want to sit with both the NDC and the NPP to find an amicable solution to the lack of representation at the moment in Parliament for the constituents in that area. What's the NDC's position on this?
You see, Kemeni, this Electoral Commission, they have not been learning from their past mistakes. They don't learn from their past experiences as well. See, I told them that, look, this thing that they are doing, the last IPAC, before the one held, we were there when this Ablekuma North issue came. And it was an issue about 62 polling stations on that day. Something happened. I mean, violence happened. We don't know where it came from. Disruption, and 62 polling stations could not be accounted for. Okay, so the results was declared. Now you people sat in your office, you don't have that power yet, and said, no, you won't accept the results. And refused to gazette the declared result because 62 were not there. Then we said, fine, no problem. Then we sat and discussed about it. Then they told us point blank at the meeting presided by the Deputy Commissioner in charge of operation that they don't have single pink sheet of this 62. They don't have. They are supposed to have the originals. We have photocopy, carbon copies. They give us carbon copies. So they will have the original. So in an event you are going to cross-check, you cross-check from the original. They don't have. We don't have. NPP said they don't have. Now, what the NPP told us in that meeting was that they have scanned copies. We say, oh, Evan, stop that. You know we don't deal with scanned copies in our electoral matters. Our electoral system is purely a manual process. We fill the pink sheet manually, they give me copy, you take your copy. We don't bring scanned copies during collation center.
But eventually you agreed to use the scanned
No, who agreed where? That's where I'm coming from. I said they don't learn from their mistakes. We all agree that these scanned copies will not be used. Then people said, okay, they will go. It's like they will go and find out. It seems they have it. They will bring it. And they will say, if you come back in the next meeting that we are going to hold about this matter, and you come with your copies, the carbon copies, we will cross-check and find out whether they are original, like how we did Domi Kwabenya. Those 3 ones, we brought physical ones, not scanned copies. That's why I'm saying that they shouldn't be comparing apples to oranges. We brought hard copies. The presiding officer came and looked at it and said, yes, this is mine.
No, but eventually in the case of Ablekuma North, some agreements or concessions were made
Where?
with the 62.
No, we didn't.
I see.
We stood by our 62. You see, what they did was complete kokufu. It wasn't part of us. They did their own thing. They did their own thing. You know, we went to court after the mandamus. We ran for an appeal against it and a stay of execution. So because of that, we didn't participate in that process. But some of our officers in the constituencies, I'm saying they didn't know that we have filed this thing. Did you see our candidate there? Arabna was not there.
Well, occasionally she passed by.
No, Arabna was not. It was when these people started and we heard that they were doing application. I said, no, I can't do that. So this boy went there to stop them.
So you're saying on record that the entire Ablikuma North recollation efforts that have failed, about at least 4 times, if it's failed, the NDC was not officially part of it?
No, we were not officially part of it.
So the constituency executives who were there, what were they doing there?
They were friends of the process, to stop the process, because they know what they were doing is illegal. It wasn't official. That's why you didn't see any senior member of our party there. Did you see any regional executive or national officer there?
I do not have a recollection of that.
The thing is that what they were doing, we're not party to it. We thought it was illegal. You can't use scanned copies of our opponent. Look, I have a background in graphic design. Give me a laptop, and I will design a pink sheet for you within a twinkle of an eye and put figures on it. If I bring it on a collation center and say, this is a scanned copies that the NDC was given, will you accept it? If you're an electoral officer and you accept it, means you are colluding with me to rig the election for my opponent. That is what they were doing. The MPP came with scanned copies and the Electoral Commission were accepting it. Why are they doing that? That's why I described them as crooked officers.
Oh, but perhaps
if you do that...
No, hang on. Perhaps because the constituency executives admitted, because this Ablikuma North issue, as I remember it, it moved from 62, it came to 41. Now there were about 11 copies that needed to be. That's when they brought in some of the polling station executives, and one of them had indicated that I do not know this document that you are showing me.
You see, that's why I say it even defeats the whole effort that we're trying to do. I told you, this MPP, they are masters in faking pink sheets and concocting figures. That has been their modus operandi.
I do not know that.
I'll give you an example. Didn't you see the presiding officer came and said, this is not my document?
Yes.
So where did they come from? Somebody concocted it and designed it and was forcing on the EC. And these EC officers who were there were trying to use it. So how will you describe these people?
So 2 things are happening. The Electoral Commission wants to sit with the NPP and the NDC to forge a way forward for Ablikuma North. We also know that you are in court over this matter. What is going to happen now? Because you have the majority in the House, your House is incomplete, and it would appear that, you know, we are just watching the wheel of time move.
Kemeni, you see, the right person must represent Ablikuma North people in the chamber, not an illegal person. You see, that has been our position, NDC. It's not that we don't want Ablikuma North to be declared, but we want the right person. For instance, we have about 6 or so illegal officers in Parliament now. We are chasing them. They were declared illegally and sworn in, and we are going to go after them. One of them is already in horseshoe.
Are you referring to Tema Central?
Not Tema Central. This Akotia.
Akotia
gentleman. Yes. He's in hot waters.
He's also at the Supreme Court now.
But the Supreme Court asked him, he's only lucky they asked him he should stay there.
They want to discuss it, yes.
Not he has already been charged criminally and convicted. He's a convict now. Are you aware of that?
We know about the
Yes,
High Court
so let's describe him as he's a convict of the court. He's now only left with sentences. He's like the Supreme Court said they shouldn't sentence him, that they should hold on it. But he's a convict. Let's agree on that. Others are following Look, Arnaud Dompré, we have gotten him through substituted service. We posted in his house, on his door. We will get him too. They are fugitives.
You're contesting Arnaud Dompré as well, who is the chief whip for the minority side.
Yes, he's an illegal MP.
I see.
Yes, we are contesting it. We've gotten substituted service from Kufridwa Court, High Court. And he's been running away from service. Now we got him through substitutes. He cannot dodge again. We'll get him. We are chasing another 3 in Ashanti region.
I see. And
so
then you also did substituted service in Tema Central.
In Tema Central. For the Tema Central and then the Okaikwe Central as well. We are chasing all of them because these are...
Which Okaikwe Central? Patrick Yabwa?
Yes, we are chasing that one too. All of them.
You don't say?
Yes, we mean it. We want it. You see, Ghanaians voted for NDC. They wanted peace of mind in Parliament. You see these 88 people, see what they are doing. This small number. They can't even form quorum to do any business in the House. But yet, look at what they are doing. This is what Ghanaians were trying to avoid by making sure that NDC at least you get about 200 so that you can have absolute peace. And that's why initially I advocated that we should give them tablets to sit in the House. This small minority, so that they'll be watching proceeding through Parliament.
Why they should come and represent
Come and do what? Because they are insignificant. What are they coming to do?
But if they are insignificant, you are significant, why are you also not showing your significant numbers?
They are settling up. And until the next time, you see that now the numbers have grown. They have settled. Some of them, these are the first time they are here from their communities to this place. Accra, you have to get accommodation settled and make sure that some of them, it's not easy. So that's why they will find it difficult. But now they are settling up.
We'll see the power.
We're not seeing it. You see, it will begin now. We are going to see full force. And that's why I'm saying that Ghanaians voted for us. They wanted peace of mind. They don't want the episode of what happened in 2017. 137. They don't want it. You see, that's why I respect Ghanaians. And I like this country. I hadn't liked traveling out because this country is so beautiful and interesting to stay. When they want to deal with you, they wait. With all your nonsense, they go and vote against you at the polls, like how they dealt with it. Yet instead of them to go back and reflect upon what went wrong, they are rather showing their Ghanaians even what they were made of during opposition in power. They are still exhibiting the same thing. So this Ableikmanov, we are not going to allow that illegality to continue.
Will you attend that meeting with the Electoral Commission?
We will attend, of course. They are our partners, this thing. We work together. We are major stakeholders. We want to hear them. The thing is that, simple and short, 62 polling stations had issues. Clearly, it has issues. If they don't have it, there's a way we can deal with that one. If they are not trying to understand, the court is there. We are still battling the matter in court. They should come and face us. Those 3 MPs, they were running away. Now we've gotten substituted service against them. We'll get them. I've
got 2 minutes. I want to spend it on GIFEC and its role in the 24-hour economy. You will play your office together with your mother ministry, the Ministry of Communication and Innovation, will play a very crucial role in establishing the 24-hour economy, especially you when you have to deal with underserved and rural communities. Talk to us about how you hope to empower your office, how you hope to change things at GIFEC.
Well, very well. Like you indicated initially, resetting is going across all sectors of agency, departments, and ministries. And now, let me put it before our time run. When we talk of reset, it's not about going after human beings. People think that by removing people from offices and all that, who were illegally put or not properly appointed, is reset. No. But how we used to do things in the sectors so that Ghanaians can benefit. For instance, my sector, one of our major activities is this rural telephony that we are in, which we were just talking, network challenges, communities that don't have network and all that. We zoom in there to make sure that they also join this internet and telephony highway, right? You look, during the campaign time, we went to some community, you are cut off. You can't reach your family, you can't reach anybody. Completely cut off. So GIFEC will go into those areas. We want to make sure that all the communities with a network are hooked up. They have a semblance of communication. Because if we are going to go to this electronic business or electronic governance that we want to go in, and most of our communities are not hooked into that, what are we doing? You remember the Electoral Commission, when they were doing this, their online exhibition, we told them that there are communities, they don't have network, they won't see these things. Now, GIFEC is going to resolve all this problem. We'll go into that. And then this is our Community Information Center. We used to call it CIC, Community Info. Now we call them Community ICT Centers. We are going to up it because of our 1 million coders that we want to train.
Indeed.
Yes,
indeed.
We are going to up it. So we are going to, most communities will get these CICs, and we'll equip them with state-of-the-art equipment, ICT equipment, to train them so that our youth will get proper training of this coding system that we are going to do.
I see.
So there's a lot we are going to do.
Because that will fall directly under you.
Yes, it falls under. In fact, we have started the ball rolling.
I see.
We've started. In fact, as we speak now, we are doing some internal resetting to make sure that our structures, everything is put in place. Then we kickstart. By the second quarter, Ghanaians will start enjoying a lot of GIFEC activities in their communities. They will begin to see us a lot in their communities. And then so people should get ready. All communities with our network will come up there and make sure that we give them at least semblance of communication so that they will not more be hanging their mobile phones on trees or they have to mount some hills before they can make calls. We will make sure that we'll hook them up to the national
We'll take you up on that.
Of course,
Thank
we are
you so much for talking to us.
Yes, grateful.
Dr. Rashid Tanko-Computer is acting CEO of GIFEC. We've been talking about the first 50, nearly 60 days of the current administration. We dovetailed into the outstanding contested constituencies, especially Ablikuma North. We've also talked about GIFEC in its role in the 24-hour economy. Doc, I believe we'll have to do this again sometime soon.
Yes.
Yes, but we have to go now. My name is Kemeni Amano. This is Hot Issues. There's a playback on YouTube and on our socials. Bye-bye.